Welcome back, students. Here, types of pollination. In the previous, we studied about the sexual reproduction, the structure of flower, unisexual flowers, bisexual flowers. What are gametes? They are the reproductive cells in the plant. So here, the types of pollination. How the pollination occurs? What is actually the pollination? Okay, pollination is actually the transfer of pollen grains from the anther to the stigma. Within the same flower it can occur, or cross from the one flower to the another flower. So on that basis, self-pollination and cross-pollination. If pollen lands on the stigma of the same flower, that means self. Okay, and if pollen from another, like from the another flower of the same plant is same, two flowers on the same, now from one flower of the same plant to the another plant, that is cross pollination, or either from the one flower of the one plant to the another flower of the another plant, that is again the cross pollination. But within the same flower they are transferring, that means self. This is the self pollination. It is in the same flower, pollens are transferred to the stigma, that means self pollination. And next, cross pollination from one flower to the another flower, stigma. Anther from one flower to stigma of another flower, that is cross pollination, and then the flowers will be there. And what are the pollinating agent? How these are transferred? Through the way of wind, through the way of water and insects. Now they have the tough protective coat. Pollen, I said, they have the tough protective coat. They prevent them from the drying up. They will not dry, and the pollen grains, these are light and can be carried through wind and water also. And insects visit the flower, they carry away the pollen to their bodies. When they sit on the another flower of stigma, then the pollens are shed by them. As you can see, the bees, when they are coming to the flower, the pollen stick to their body, on the surface of the body, the feathery, then they go to the different flower, they shed over there, and the pollination happen. So here dash produces pollen grains. Which produces the pollen grains? Yes, exactly, the anther. Others are the different parts. Transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma of flower is called, yes, what it is known as, anther to the stigma transferation, that is a pollination. Now when pollen lands on the stigma of the same flower, it is known as, it is in the same, so self-pollination. What is fertilization? Very important topic. In this fertilization, you should know what does this mean. What happened in this case? In fertilization, when pollen grains containing the male gamete, they land to the stigma. As you can see, this is the pollen grain. They having the outer hard coat. What will happen when they get favorable condition? They start germinating. Okay, this will start germinating, and this tube-like structure will reach to the through stigma, through style to the ovary. Okay, to the ovule part. As this pollen tube grow into the style, it will reach to the ovary. This is the ovary. Inside ovule is there. Inside this ovary is there. Now, when this fusion occurs, as here it has started germinating. Now, this male pollen tube, the male part, the anther pollen tube, will germinate and it fuse with the egg present in the ovule. Now here what is happening? Zygote formation. This zygote is formed in the case when they fuse together. When pollen tube fuse with the egg cell, then zygote is formed. That means it has divided and that structure is known as zygote. Now when male gamete present inside the pollen grain and the female gamete present inside the ovum, when they both fuse together, what is forming? That process is known as fertilization, and they form the zygote, fertilized egg. Now ovary, I said, it is, fruit is formed through the ovary, and the ovule which is present inside the ovary, that is, they form the seeds. Now after the fertilization process, the ovary of the flowers, they will grow and develop into the fruit, and the ovules that is in between them, that will develop into the seeds that are present in the fruits. And again we can use the seeds to plant the new one. So fruits and seed formation, how this is formed? Now after the fertilization, what is happening? Ovary will grow into fruit and ovule other parts of the flower will fall off. If you see, once the flower has been grown and as the fertilization takes place, the flower part that will fall down and it will turn into a fruit. Now the fruit has been, that is the ovary that grows. Now fruit, that is ripened ovary. You can say what is fruit? It is a ripened ovary. Then one ovary which has been matured, it gives to the fruit. Now the seeds that will develop from the ovule which is present inside it. Now seed containing an embryo enclosed in a protective seed coat. An embryo is an immature plant. What is embryo? Within the seed, as you all know, the moong seeds and different pulses, also grams, these we are all eating. What actually these are? These are the seeds and they are having inside them embryo which is immature plant. Now when the new plant need to grow from here, then we have to give it proper condition, the water, then air, warm condition to fruit up. Now the seed we'll take, we sow it, they will grow and the flowering will occur. From that flowers will come. Then flowers, ultimately the pollination is happening there, transfer of pollen grains to the stigma to female part and their fertilization takes place. And through fertilization there is the fruit, development of fruit and the development of the seed. Okay. Next we have the process of fusion of male and female gamete, that is known as fertilization. This is known as fertilization. That is when the male part fuses with the female part. And the mature ovary that will develop into, yes exactly, the fruit and ovule will develop into the seeds. So this is all about the fertilization. Our next topic, last, that how the seeds are dispersed, dispersal of seed. How the seeds are being transported. Seeds are transported from the parent plant to different places, that is known as seed dispersal. That means you are dispersing the seeds. Now seeds are dispersed to different places, but how, which method? There are different ways of seed dispersal. What are these? That is first through wind. As I said, wind is responsible to carry the seeds from one place to another because the seeds are light, that can be carried through. Drumsticks and the maple, they have the wings, as you can see they are light, and light seeds of the grasses. They are having the hairy seeds in case of ack, that is murder, and then hairy fruits of sunflower, they get blow off with the help of winds. That's why they are easily dispersed, and they, when they fall to any particular place, they get favorable condition, they will grow. And water, some seeds are dispersed by water also, as in case of coconut, they will float and they will reach to any place, favorable condition they will get, they will grow into a plant. Now if with the animals, the seeds which having the spines or hook like xanthium and urena, they will entangle into it and it will, when they go to any place and it fall down, then it give rise to the new plant. Now some seeds are dispersed when the fruit burst. When fruit burst, they will suddenly drop off the seed with a sudden jerk. These seeds are scattered far away from the parent plant. In this, castor seeds and the balsam. These are the example. So here you should know how the dispersal way. Now what do you think will happen if all the seeds of plant were to fall at the same place and grow there? Because if these processes are not there through wind, water or air or through animals, so do you think that it can be carried out further? Then there would be a severe competition for the sunlight, water and minerals, because in the specific area, the more seeds you grow, there will be the lots of competition and they will not survive at all. They can't grow at all there. So as a result, seeds would not grow into a healthy plant, because to growing in a healthy plant, we know all that the farmers, they put the seeds by making us some sort of distance, otherwise they will not grow and will not fruit. So why seed dispersal is necessary? Because plants benefit by seed dispersal and it prevents the competition, that is for sunlight, water and mineral, because they have to grow, they have to give the fruits, they have to develop. Now they will enable the plants to invade new habitats for wider distribution, because they will spread by this way to wider places. So seed dispersal takes place by which way? Yes, exactly by all of the ways, through wind, water and animals. This is all about this video of this chapter, reproduction in plants. So we'll meet you soon with a new topic, with a new chapter in our upcoming videos. Thank you.